Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds in the studio. It's Thursday. We're sitting here wishing it was a Friday, but you know what? It's still Thursday. Either way, the U.S. Open begins today. I know we kind of had a little rainy start here. Is the rain and weather okay where they're playing in Pennsylvania?
They're playing in Pittsburgh, and I think they'll, even if it's a light shower, they'll go ahead and start it off because they do have 156 players. And what they do in these first couple of rounds, Mike, is have half the field tee off on the first tee and the other half tee off on hole number 10. That way they can get through it today. So as a result, it's a little bit early to be checking in on the players. And besides, the ones who are in the, and this is not meant to denigrate them one little tiny bit, but the ones who are playing early, like about now, and right through the next hour and a half are the lesser names. These are people you've never heard of. They did qualify. They are in the U.S. Open, and they're perfectly capable, they think, of winning the national championship of this country. But the big names, the Schefflers, the McIlroys, the Morikawas, and people like that, they'll all tee off a little bit later on today so that they can be seen on television.
Do they also time this with Father's Day?
Say it again now.
Is this also timed with Father's Day? I mean, it's like the perfect Father's Day weekend.
As a matter of fact, the U.S. Open is usually held on the Father's Day weekend.
Yeah,
yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a coincidence. All right, same thing with the Golf Grand Slam event. When's that?
Well, the next one, the final event, will be the British Open, and that's just about a month from now, July 17th through the 20th. And this year they're playing at Royal Portrush, that's in Northern Ireland. You know that golfers McIlroy and Lowry, Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry, both of whom are from Northern Ireland. They'll be the big crowd favorites, although, in all fairness, they live here in this country. Mm-hmm. But they are from Northern Ireland, they are Irish, and that'll be a big advantage for them. Matter of fact, Shane Lowry won the British Open at this same course back in 2019, and that was a very popular victory.
Well, if you like golf, it looks like you got a lot of stuff coming up. We've got the Stanley Cup playoffs, the finals, when they resume.
They are tonight, as a matter of fact, and they will take the ice. Something of an oxymoron here. They'll take the ice in Sunrise, Florida. And it's, of course, the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. This is a big one for Edmonton. They have to win it. They trail Florida 3-1. Florida is the defending Stanley Cup champion. The Oilers are the runners-up last year as well, and looks like they're in a rhythm to end up like that again this year, but they'd much prefer another story. Regardless, they will head to Canada after this, but the Oilers don't want to be down 3-1.
No, definitely not. They do feel like they're on the ropes right now. And the St. Louis Cardinals need to fix their course quickly. Hopefully they can do it against the Brewers.
And the Brewers and the Cardinals will get together in Milwaukee starting tonight. And this is going to be a little bit tough for the Cardinals, but I think they can come back out of this. They're not a great team, but they are not a bad team either. I picked them at the start of the season to be around 500, and that's where they are. Actually, they're 4 games above 500, but they've also lost 4 in a row, including a 5-2 decision yesterday to the Toronto Blue Jays, who swept the Cardinals in St. Louis. Okay, that's not good, but the Cardinals are still very much in the hunt in the National League East. It's still very early. Chicago Cubs have set the pace, but Cardinals can catch them. The Cardinals did have a rather interesting move yesterday. They signed a pitcher, a guy named Zach Plesac. This is interesting. Cardinals seem to think they need another starter somewhere in their rotation. This is just a hedge against any injuries. Well, Plesac is not even in the major leagues at the moment. He was in the independent league pitching for the Long Island Ducks. That's an independent league team. Anyway, the Cardinals saw him. They determined that indeed he does have some capabilities. So Zach Plesac will join the Memphis Redbirds and be ready for a call-up from the Cardinals if, in fact, they need that. His previous major league experience is with the Cleveland Guardians, and he did pitch well for them a number of years ago. But he's the newest addition to the Cardinals pitching staff. Cardinals played the Milwaukee Brewers tonight, and then again Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Royals, they definitely need to win today against the Yankees, but I don't have a good feeling about this game. It's not been looking so good for them either.
Well, New York is a very good baseball team. Right. They led the Royals last night 6-0 in the ninth inning, and the Royals did score 3 runs, but hey, that's only half what they needed. And the Yankees win by a score of 6-3. Yankees are pretty good, folks. It's a very nice baseball team, best that money can buy, and one of the best players that money can buy. Aaron Judge did hit another home run last night. So it's another victory for Kansas City, or I should say for the New York Yankees. Another victory for the Yanks, beating Kansas City by a score of 6-3, and they do conclude that series tonight.
And last but not least, in the battle for domination in NBA Midwest dominance between the Pacers and Oklahoma City,
Well, the Pacers had the lead.
They
2
do.
games to 1. Indiana won last night, 116-107. This is a bit of a surprise to me because the Oklahoma City team is, in my opinion, a physically stronger ball club than Indiana. That doesn't mean they're Hercules or anything of that nature, but they do have players who can dominate underneath. And so far, except for one game, that hasn't happened. Last night, a kid named Benedict Mathurin came off the bench for the Indiana Pacers. He's a player out of the University of Arizona and a bench player, but that says something about the NBA because while only 5 players can start, the bench players are equally as good. And Benedict Mathurin came in, scored 27 points for the Pacers last night, and led the victory 116-107. Interestingly, Indiana outscored Oklahoma City 32-18 in the fourth period. I'm a little bit surprised at that. Anyway, Pacers lead 2 games to 1. Play again tomorrow night.
Ned, you have a wonderful day, and thank God tomorrow's Friday.